The year is 2032, a time when the world as we knew it has begun to unravel. The streets of Hollywood, once shining with the glamour of film stars and bustling with the energy of new productions, now feel like a distant memory. The city, its skyline once a symbol of success and luxury, has started to crumble under the weight of its own ambition. Crime rates have soared. The rich live in towering fortresses, while the poor fight for survival in the shadows of broken dreams. But amidst this chaos, one thing remains constant: the world's obsession with entertainment. And it is here, in the heart of Hollywood, that the story begins. The film industry, which once defined culture, is now a hollow shell of what it used to be. A new, powerful corporation has taken control of the media, replacing the storytellers with machines. The once vibrant studios are now cold, sterile factories of robotic production, churning out generic blockbusters designed to rake in profits but devoid of soul. The public watches passively, glued to screens, consumed by the artificial dramas unfolding in front of them. But deep beneath the surface, a rebellion is quietly brewing, one that seeks to restore humanity to storytelling and reclaim the world from the hands of cold, calculating power. At the center of this storm is Alex, a former Hollywood screenwriter who once dreamed of making it big. Now, in 2032, he lives in the shadows of his past, haunted by the collapse of the industry he once loved. His friends, his colleagues, have either given up or been consumed by the corporate machine. But Alex hasn't let go. He knows that there's still something real, something worth fighting for, deep within the world of cinema. He has one last story in him, one last chance to change everything. But he isn't alone in this fight. There's another force at play, one that Alex can't quite understand, and it's slowly drawing him into a dangerous game. Then there's Maya, a former child star who watched the glittering world of Hollywood turn to dust. Maya's career ended as quickly as it began. She was the face of countless commercials, the star of hit TV shows, but when the money dried up, so did the offers. Left with nothing, she vanished from the public eye, retreating into a quiet existence. But now, with the world on the brink of destruction, she's been thrust back into the limelight, not by choice, but by fate. As the rebellion gathers strength, Maya finds herself drawn back to the very system she tried to escape. She has something that could turn the tide, but she doesn't trust herself, and she certainly doesn't trust those around her. The rebellion is more than just a fight against the corporate giants. It's a battle for the soul of humanity. As Alex and Maya join forces, they begin to uncover disturbing truths about the forces that control the world, and about the people who have been pulling the strings behind the scenes. The further they go, the more they realize that there are powerful forces at work, and not all of them are human. Strange occurrences, unexplained phenomena, and whispers of a darker, more ancient conspiracy begin to surface. The world they once knew, the Hollywood they once adored, is far more sinister than they ever could have imagined. As the tension rises and the stakes grow higher, the rebellion's plot takes an unexpected turn. The very thing they've been fighting against, the corporation that has stolen their world, is not as simple as they thought. There's a hidden agenda, a deeper conspiracy that could destroy everything. And as Alex and Maya race against time to expose the truth, they realize that the real enemy isn't just the corporation or the machines. The true enemy is something far older, far more dangerous, and it's been hiding in plain sight all along. The walls of Hollywood, once a symbol of success and dreams, now echo with the sound of rebellion. The streets are alive with the voices of those who refuse to give up, who refuse to let the world fall into the hands of the powerful. But as the battle rages on, one thing becomes clear: no one is safe. Not even Alex, not even Maya. Everyone has a part to play, and no one knows who will survive to see the end. The final confrontation is drawing near. The forces of darkness are gathering, and the rebellion is at its breaking point. Will Alex and Maya succeed in their mission, or will they become pawns in a game that has been playing out for centuries? Will they uncover the truth before it's too late? And what is the ultimate cost of fighting for a world that may no longer be worth saving? The tension builds, the stakes grow higher, and as the sun sets over the ruins of Hollywood, one question lingers in the air. Who will be left standing when the dust settles? Stay tuned, because this is only the beginning. What happens next will leave you breathless, and the fate of the world may just hang in the balance. The final chapter is yet to be written. Will you be there when the credits roll? The world that Alex and Maya now find themselves in is a far cry from the Hollywood of their memories. The once glorious district, with its bright lights and red carpets, is now a decaying shadow of its former self. The elite live in fortified high-rise buildings, surrounded by walls of glass and steel, while the common people, those who once flocked to Hollywood in search of fame, now scrape by in the city's underbelly. The gap between the powerful and the powerless has grown wider, and it's only a matter of time before the cracks in the system finally give way. And it's in those cracks that Alex and Maya have decided to plant their flag. Alex's mind races as he remembers the old days, the days when film was more than just a product. It was a movement, a way of telling stories that shaped culture, that changed the world. He worked with people who believed in the power of storytelling, who saw the film industry as a vehicle for change. But the system that once thrived on creativity had become a monster, chewing up and spitting out anyone who dared challenge it. The rise of the mega-corporation, known only as the Collective, had been swift and decisive. It absorbed every major studio, silenced every independent voice, and created a monopoly on the media. Films weren't made to inspire anymore. They were made to control, to manipulate, to ensure that the people remained passive, obedient. Alex had been one of the first to speak out, but his career ended before it even began. Maya's story, on the other hand, is one of lost potential. She had been a starlet, bright-eyed and full of hope, until the industry chewed her up and discarded her. The system had turned her into a product, a thing to be consumed, and when the market had no use for her anymore, she disappeared. But Maya wasn't the kind to fade into obscurity without a fight. She had been living quietly, keeping a low profile, until the rebellion found her. They had learned of her past, of her potential, and they needed her. Her knowledge of the inner workings of the system, her experience as a child star, made her an invaluable asset. She had been reluctant at first, not wanting to get caught up in the chaos again, but she understood now that the fight was bigger than her. This was the fight for the soul of the world. As Alex and Maya continue their journey, they begin to realize the magnitude of the battle they're up against. The Collective isn't just an entertainment corporation. It's a global force, a shadowy organization that has its tendrils in every corner of society. It controls information, it controls power, and it controls the way people think. But there's more to it than just media domination. The Collective is also involved in a series of secret experiments. Experiments that Alex and Maya have only begun to uncover. Strange occurrences, disappearances, and unexplainable phenomena seem to be connected to the corporation, and the deeper they dig, the more they realize that the story is far darker than they ever imagined. The rebellion's leader, a mysterious figure known only as the Director, has been guiding Alex and Maya through this dangerous world. But even he is a shadowy presence, never revealing too much about his own past. He's a man with a mission, a man who believes that the future of humanity depends on defeating the corporation, but his methods are harsh, and his motives are unclear. Alex and Maya struggle to trust him, but they know they have no choice. They need him if they're going to expose the truth. As the story progresses, Alex and Maya begin to experience strange visions and nightmares. Visions of a world that isn't quite their own, of events that seem to be happening in parallel dimensions. They don't understand what's happening to them, but they feel as though they are being drawn into a greater cosmic conflict. The lines between reality and illusion begin to blur, and they realize that the battle they're fighting isn't just about Hollywood or the media. It's about the very fabric of reality itself. The collective's experiments seem to be warping the boundaries of time and space, creating new, twisted versions of the world in which they once lived. Tensions between the rebellion and the corporation escalate as the final confrontation approaches. The director's plans are set into motion, but there are secrets he's been hiding. Secrets that could shatter everything Alex and Maya thought they knew. The corporation is on the verge of completing a project that could change the course of human history, and it's up to Alex and Maya to stop it. But they aren't the only ones who have been working behind the scenes. There are other factions, other players in this high-stakes game, who are vying for control of the truth. The deeper they go, the more they realize that the people they once trusted may not be who they say they are. The rebellion's allies may be hiding their own agendas, and Alex and Maya can no longer tell who is playing for their side and who is playing for the enemy. A sense of paranoia sets in as they struggle to decipher who to trust. Every decision could be their last, and every ally could be a potential enemy in disguise. As they close in on the heart of the collective's operations, the stakes become even higher. The director reveals the true nature of the experiment, something so horrific, so impossible, that Alex and Maya can barely comprehend it. The corporation has been manipulating not just the media, but the very minds of people, creating artificial realities, altering memories, and controlling entire populations without them even knowing it. The plan is to take full control of humanity, to rewrite history itself, and to erase anyone who poses a threat to their power. The rebellion's mission is no longer just about fighting a corrupt system. It's about saving humanity from an existence where nothing is real. But time is running out. The collective's final weapon is almost ready, and Alex and Maya must infiltrate their most secure facility to stop it before it's too late. But as they make their move, they discover something even more shocking. The rebellion's leader, the director, may have been working with the corporation all along. The twist is enough to shatter their resolve, but they can't afford to back down now. The fate of the world rests in their hands. With every step they take, the walls close in. The truth is slipping further from their grasp, and the final moments are approaching. Will they be able to stop the corporation's ultimate plan, or will they be consumed by it? The clock is ticking, and the lines between friend and foe have never been more blurred. The city of Hollywood, once a beacon of dreams, now stands on the edge of total collapse. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance. The final battle is drawing near, and the question remains: who will survive to see the end of this twisted game? The final confrontation was upon them. The air in Hollywood's decaying streets seemed to hum with a quiet, unnerving tension. Alex and Maya stood before the looming entrance to the collective's most guarded facility, the place where their fate, and the fate of humanity, would be decided. The director, their enigmatic leader, had vanished in the midst of the chaos, leaving them alone in their mission. But doubts about his true loyalty still gnawed at their minds. Had he been manipulating them all along, using their desperation and idealism as pawns in his greater plan? Inside the facility, the truth was clearer than ever. The director's true purpose had been hidden in plain sight. He was not working against the collective. He was working for it. His betrayal hit hard. The rebellion they had trusted, the fight they had believed in, was nothing more than a well-orchestrated ruse to infiltrate the last bastion of resistance. But as Alex and Maya stood at the threshold, they couldn't afford to let the director's treachery paralyze them. The corporation's final weapon, a massive neural device capable of controlling minds on a global scale, was nearly activated. The weight of the world pressed down on them, and they had no choice but to forge ahead. Inside the facility, everything was sterile, cold, like the machines that now ran the world. The hum of technology reverberated through the halls, blending with the flicker of lights overhead. The eerie silence only intensified their sense of urgency. They moved swiftly, navigating the dark corridors, their hearts racing. With every turn, they were reminded of how much they had lost. Their dreams, their hopes, the future they had envisioned. Everything was on the line. It wasn't just about stopping a machine anymore. It was about saving the essence of what made them human. As they reached the central chamber, they saw it. The device. Towering, unyielding, and made of cold steel, it pulsed with a faint light that seemed to beckon them closer. Maya felt a shiver run down her spine. This was it, the culmination of everything they had fought for. She glanced at Alex, whose face was as resolute as ever, but his eyes betrayed a flicker of doubt. They had no plan, no backup. They were on their own. Without warning, the director appeared, stepping out from the shadows. His eyes glinted with an unsettling calmness. "You were never meant to win," he said, his voice low and controlled. The collective was never the enemy. It was the only way forward. Humanity needed a guiding hand, and I was the one chosen to provide it. All you ever were distractions. Alex stepped forward, fists clenched. "You've been lying to us this whole time. Everything was just a game to you." The director's lips curled into a faint smile. "It wasn't about you, Alex. It was about saving us all. You'll understand soon enough." But just as the tension reached its peak, something unexpected happened. The device started to malfunction. Sparks flew, and the walls trembled. Maya realized in an instant. Someone else had been playing their hand, someone more powerful than the director, someone who had anticipated every move they made. She reached for the console, her fingers flying over the controls. The truth began to reveal itself, piece by piece. The director was not the mastermind. The corporation was simply a pawn in a far larger game. The real enemy had been manipulating everything from behind the scenes, using the director as a figurehead for their own twisted plans. Maya's fingers found the kill switch. With one final, desperate push, the device powered down. The lights flickered, and for the first time in years, the air felt lighter. Alex stood frozen for a moment, unsure of what had just happened. The director's expression darkened as he rushed toward the console, but it was too late. The power that had been stolen from humanity was now returning, slowly but surely. "We did it," Alex whispered, the weight of their victory settling in. But as they looked at each other, they knew it wasn't truly over. The war had just begun. The corporation had fallen, but the world still had to rebuild. The rebellion would have to fight, not just for power, but for the very heart of society, to reclaim what had been lost, and to rebuild a system that honored truth, freedom, and creativity. Maya turned to Alex, a tired smile on her face. "We've won, but the real work starts now. We have to show the world what we've learned. We have to help them remember what it means to be human." Alex nodded, staring out at the ruins of Hollywood. The city had been the birthplace of dreams, but now it would be the birthplace of a new world. A world where people would no longer be bound by the chains of manipulation. A world where stories mattered again. Where humanity would have a chance to write its own future. As they left the facility, the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon. The streets of Hollywood, once cracked and broken, now glowed with the promise of something new. The battle was far from over, but they had sparked the fire of rebellion. The fire that could change the world. And as they disappeared into the distance, they knew one thing for sure. The story was theirs to tell, and the world was listening. For the first time in a long while, the future didn't seem so bleak. It was filled with possibility, with hope, and with the unwavering belief that together, they could rebuild the world from the ashes of its past. The curtain was closing on this chapter, but the real show had only just begun.